Brand new era for the England national team as Lee Carsley takes over on an interim basis heading into the opening day of the UEFA Nations League. Will they get off to the best possible start, or will they, of course, suffer a defeat under the new coach? We're going to take a look at that and much, much, much more next. That's right, folks, back once again with another video. Today is the UEFA Nations League, match day number 1, part 3, that's right, as we complete the first round of matches over in the Nations League. We'll get to that in a second. If you're new, where you been? Smash your subscribe button. You want to stop shop for Nations League. Is right here under one Ruski. The Germans and the Dutch, probably the highlight of this round of matches, but England take on Ireland. And a bit of a old school British Isles classic. We'll get into all of that and more in a second. If you're new, where you been? Smash your subscribe. Your one-stop shop is here. And again, a big shout out to the VIPs, the patrons. Also in action, others. Who else is in action? In fact, we'll find out in just 1 second. Now, before we jump into the video, something brand new to the channel. And what is it? It's the join button. That's right. We've gone there. Memberships. That's right. We've opened up the floodgates to members, so you can now join and support the channel in another way. We have our first member, so a big shout out to him. But you can also join that member and becoming an extra special member of the community. Just click on the join button, follow the on-screen instructions, and become part of the gang. All right then, folks, quick recap of the groups. We did cover them in the previous two instances. Top two of the top end of the Nations League, the Group A's, or the League A's. It gets me all the time. So the top two will go through to the quarterfinals. The groups are on the screen right now. The bottom team will get relegated. The third place team will, of course, go into a relegation playoff with the second place team in League B's. Of course, the top team will go through and be promoted to League A for the next time around, with the fourth place team getting relegated, and so on and so forth. So basically, you top it, you do well, you bottom, you go pants. So that's the situation. Again, I have covered the league stashes and gone into the countries a little bit more detail in the prior two videos. I'm not doing it now because it's just rinse and repeat. But this is where you don't want to be, and that is League D, with the ass end of these nations. Goodness gracious me, the whipping boys of Europe. But don't forget, we do have a prediction league. It is free. Get involved, and of course, we're going to be back for match number 2 very soon, guys and gals. So that is that. These are the games. What have we got? We got 9, I think, on the docket right here, right now, and we're going to start with a very cracking encounter for Moldova. That's right, Moldova will kick us all off, and they're going to be taking on Malta. That's right, over in their opening match. This match will take place on the 7th of September. Moldova, managed by Sergei Selesenko, up against Malta, managed by Michel Marcoloni. Now, these two sides have played 3 times since 2007. 1 win for Moldova, nothing for Malta. 2 draws between the two sides. Moldova, though, just 1 win in 6. Malta without a win in at least the last 6. So pretty grim stuff for them at the moment. Last time they played each other was in Malta. It was a 0-0 draw back in March 2016. Moldova's one and only victory, or the one and only victory in this fixture, was in Malta back in October 2007. Moldova, though, did last play against Ukraine. It was back in June. They lost 4-0 there. Meanwhile, Malta last played against Greece in Malta, and they also lost as well. So 2 teams desperate for a win. Moldova have been a bit more lucky, or got a couple more wins in the belt recently, or decent positive results. They've actually just lost twice at the last 6. But anyway, I do think Moldova will edge this one. 2-1 win for them to start off life in Group D, or League D, Group 2, in the best possible start. Let's go to, where are we going here? We are going to Armenia. Armenia up in action, up against Latvia, of course, coming at you in League C, Group 4. Played 4 times, these two sides, since 2009. 1 for Armenia, 2 for Latvia. 1 draw as well. Armenia, managed by Alexandra Petrakov, against Latvia's Danis Karashekovic. Just 1 win for Armenia, 25% form for them right now. Up against Latvia, just 1 win as well for the last 6, 33% form for them heading into this one. The last time they played at Armenia. It was a 2-1 win for Armenia back in June 2023. Coming into this, though, Latvia on a 1-0 win over Faroes. That was their one and only win in at least the last 6 games. Meanwhile, Armenia picking up a 2-1 win over Kazakhstan most recently. Yeah, not many wins around for either of these two sides. Does smell like a draw, but I think I'm going to go with Armenia. I think they're going to have too much class. And of course, the faithful, the home attendance will be enough for them to get over the line and get a win. Let's head over to the north and head over to the Faroes. Goodness gracious me, as we take on Faroe Islands, take on North Macedonia. That's right, coming at you. League C, Group 4. We're going to go to Svangaskaro as Faroe Islands managed by Hakan Eriksson up against North Macedonia managed by Blagio Milishevsky. It's just one time they have played these two sides since 2023. Just one win for North Macedonia. They have not won, though, in the last 6 matches. The Faroes do have a win in the last 6, and we'll talk about that shortly. This last match that they played was back in March 2023. It was in North Macedonia. It was a friendly. But the Faroes, on the back of a 1-0 loss to Latvia, that one and only win was a 4-0 win, a spanking of Liechtenstein way back in March 2024. North Macedonia's last victory, goodness gracious me, was a 3-1 win over Armenia back in October 2023. It's in the Faroes. North Macedonia have a lot of quality on them. I think they'll get this one. 2-1 win over the line to, of course, give themselves a fantastic start in the Nations League. Meanwhile, Greece, they've been a little bit in the doldrums of European football of late. They're going to be taking on, who are they taking on? They are taking on Finland. A bit of a juicy one, this one. Coming at you over at the Kasanakis Stadium. That's right. Superstar legend for Greece. Nicholas Papadopoulos is the manager for Greece up against Makaro Karieva of Finland. Now, these are familiar foes. Played 15 times since 1966. 7 wins for Greece, 5 wins for Finland. 3 draws between the two sides. Greece, 58% form for them right now, just 2 defeats in the last 6. Finland, also 2 defeats in the last 6, just 1 win, though, in the last 4. Last time around, these two sides played in Greece. It was a 2-1 win for Greece back in November 2019. The Grecians, on the back of a 2-0 win over Malta. That was their most recent match. Finland, their last victory was a 2-1 win over Estonia, but they got some good results in there by drawing with Scotland, etc., etc. Again, I don't think I have any bookies odds on this one, so we are probably leaning towards a Greece victory again at home. That's proven to be vital, I think, in these early matches in the Nations League. Then we go for a bit of a tasty one. That's right. Here's Ireland. They're going to be taking on England, of course, familiar foes from the past. Of course, a bit of cracking on this one over at, where are we going? Aviva Stadium in Dublin. That's right. Ireland and England have played 9 times since 1978, but there's only been 2 wins for England, 1 win for Ireland, and 6 draws, of course. Ireland, did they get a new manager? Is John O'Shea still there? I can't really remember. I know England have got matey boy Lee Carsley at the helm. Ex-Rover. Was he ex-Rover? I think he was ex-Rover. Since taking over from Southgate. 9 times they played, 2 wins for England, 1 for Northern Ireland. Oh, sorry. 2 wins for England, 1 win for Ireland, 6 draws, of course. Last time they played, it was a 3-0 win for England back in November 2020. Ireland's last win against England, you got to go back just a little bit. It was actually in England back in actually no, it wasn't in England, it was in the Euros. It was a 1-0 win for Ireland way back in 1988. Besides that 1 win for England, there was 5 draws between the two sides in consecutive action. Ireland, though, on the back of a 3-0 loss to Portugal. England with that 2-1 loss to Spain in the Euro finals. New era, of course. Be careful what you wish for, of course. I am going with a 2-2 draw. A bit of a surprise, perhaps, as the draw rears its ugly head one more time. We're going to go to, I think we're going to Czechia here. I know it's Ukraine up against Albania, but taking place over in the Stadion Letna in Prague, of course, as these two sides lock horns again. They played 4 times since 2005, 3 wins for Ukraine, nothing for Albania, and 1 draw between the two sides. Now, of course, last time they played, it was a 4-1 win for Ukraine back in June 2018. That was, of course, a big win for Ukraine, who do come into this on the back of that 0-0 draw against Belgium. Unfortunately, their Euros didn't really get going, just scoring the 1 goal in that tournament. Meanwhile, Albania were a little bit more adventurous, difficult group. No one gave them any hope, and a narrow loss to Spain was their last match. I am I'm going to go with a Ukraine victory here, 2-1 win for them. Of course, again, at a weird venue for them in Prague. Let's go to Georgia now as they take on the Czech Republic. Of course, Georgia again winning our hearts in the Euros. Of course, making some superstars as well in the process. Willie Sagnon, believe, still there against Czechia, and even Hasic. Played just the one time in 2024, and it was in that Euros, which ended up all square back in June 2024. Georgia, though, 58% form for them right now. Just one win in the last 4 up against the Czechia side without a win in the last 3. Their last match was against Turkey in said Euros. Georgia's last match was a 4-1 loss to Spain. They look good in times. They did beat Portugal. They got a cheeky result against Czechia, and they gave Spain a little bit of a shock. I think I'm going with a draw here. I just don't know if that was just the occasion. But again, being in Georgia, I think they will not lose this one. But Czechia will have a lot of work to do to get a victory on the opening day. Again, over in League B. It's the Dutch up against Bosnia-Herzegovina. Now this match will take place. Where are we going? Where are we going? We are going to Eindhoven. Sorry, I'm a bit behind the times. Eindhoven, the venue, as the Dutch take on Bosnia-Herzegovina. Ronald Koeman's still there, I believe, up against Bosnia-Herzegovina, and Sergi Barbarez. They have played twice since 2020. 1 win for the Dutch, nothing for Bosnia-Herzegovina, and 1 draw between the two sides. The Dutchies, 58% form for them right now, back to just 2 wins and 2 defeats at the last 4 up against the Bosnia-Herzegovina side without a win in at least the last 6 games. The last time they played these two sides in the Netherlands was back in November 2020. 3-1 win it was for the Dutch, who did crash out of the semi-final stage 2-1 to England in the Euros. Bosnia-Herzegovina were not involved, but it's been back-to-back games without a goal, losing to Italy and England. And their last victory, if I can find it, was a 2-0 win over Liechtenstein back in October 2023. I don't think it's a good era right now for the Bosnia-Herzegovinians, and I think they'll lose this one quite convincingly, 3-0 in the end. And then we wrap it all up, boys and girls. It is Germany. It is, of course, Hungary, a familiar match of late. Of course, coming at you, of course, on, where are we looking at here? The 7th of September, League A Group 3. Played 7 times since 2004. Nagelsmann's Germany, 75% form for them right now, up against Marco Rossi's Hungary, 50% form for them right now. 7 times they played, 3 wins to Germany, 2 for Hungary, just 2 draws as well. Most recently, they did play at the Euros. It was a 2-0 win for Germany, who, of course, bounced back. They've got a bit of a bad wobble against Hungary. Haven't beaten them prior to that in 3 matches. But hoping, in fact, if you look at it a different way, just 1 loss against Hungary. But back in the Nations League once again. They didn't beat them in the Nations League last time around. As for Hungary, they crashed out in the Euros. However, they did win their last game against the Scots. Germany crashing out to eventual winners, Spain 2-1. Got no odds on here, but I do back my boys, Germany, with a 3-1 win to get their campaign off to the best possible start. That is it. That completes the UEFA Nations League match number 1, part 3. We'll be back for match number 2, part 1, part 2, part 3, very, very soon. But that is it. Get involved with the prediction, get partying, get involved with the process, and I'll see you soon for the next one, guys and gals.